Hello students, welcome to AllCBT once again. And in today's special video, we will be taking the objective aspect in the literature in English exams. So I selected out 35 top repetitive literature in English questions. These are questions you would see in your WAEC, your NECO, your GCE, about all O-level exam comprising of the literature in English assessment. So I want you to follow me through them, master them as we prepare for your upcoming exams. Now, if you have any question, please make sure you ask in the comment section of this video. So I also have made a part 2 of this video for the prose and drama and poetry, right, where I went deep down to even give you some examples. So you can check the channel for that video. I will also attach it to this video at the end of this video so that you can watch that as you prepare maximally to pass the literature in English exam. Now let's get into it. The first question: which of the following is common to all forms of literature? All forms. Now, I've always said that you should pay attention to instruction. Instruction is your life. Which of the following is common to all forms of literature? Now you have chorus, action, narration. You have language. See. Now, narration is common to what? Prose. We narrate prose. Then you have action. It's drama. You use action in drama, right? Okay. Chorus also. It's mostly drama and poetry. Okay. But language is used in all. We use language, the English language, or whatever language it is. Okay. So language is the general, is common to drama, poetry, prose, all forms of literature. Question 2. A poem that is shaped in the image of the object it talks about is what? Now, it's simply, let me just say the answer, then I explain. It's called a concrete poem. So concrete poem is shaped in the object it talks about. Let's say the poem is about heart, then it is shaped. You must have seen such poems before. It is shaped, the writing is shaped, the shape of an heart. If it's about tree, you see the lines of the poem are now constructed into a tree shape. So it's called a concrete poem. It's shaped in the image of what it talks about. All right, so question 3 now. The choir is on wheels to a convention. What figure of speech is at play there? You can see it's italic. The choir is on wheels to a convention, and that's what method. All right, and why so? Because in method we use a word to group. We use a term to group as a group word. All right. So choir here now is talking about a group, not a single person, right? So in method we use the choir here represents a group that is on its way to a convention. So method is simply using one word, one phrase to group a bunch of things or a bunch of people, a bunch of activities. All right. So that is what method is, and that's why it's method. There is no other one here. Hyperbole is exaggeration. Personification is giving the features of a human being to a non-living or a non-inanimate thing. So and you cannot see that in the expression. Question 4. The dominant device using Macbeth.murdered sleep. The innocent sleep is dash. Okay, I already just briefly mentioned this now. So Macbeth.murdered sleep. The innocent sleep is what? What's the dominant device in this expression? You have alliteration, conceit, method, and personification. Now, it's personification. The reason why, because it's only human beings that are murdered, right? You can see murdered sleep. This is where our focus is on. So, the act of murdering a person or the act of murder is used in respect to humans. Okay, so you don't murder dog, right? So you only murder humans. So that's specification, given the attributes, like I said, explained before, of a human being. To sleep, right? And then question 5, a novel that features spiritual apparitions as major character is what? Spiritual apparitions. So you have epistolary, you have Gothic, historical, and you have sociological. And that is Gothic. In Gothic novels, we feature novels or even plays, ghost kind of plays, vampires, spiritual apparitions. Many of these Yoruba stuff you watch, many of them are Gothic. They are often dark kind of plays and novels. They are Gothic scenery. Good. And then number 6, several hands stretched out for free meals at the refugee camp illustrates what? You have antithesis, you have euphemism, you have litosis, and you have synecdoche. Some people call it synecdoche. All right, so several hands stretched out for free meals at the refugee camp illustrates what? Now, when you look at this expression, several hands stretched out for free meals, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind? Several hands stretched out for free meals. You can imagine humans stretching out their hands, beggars, humans begging, or trying to, or humans stretching their hands to receive free food, right? That's what you imagine when you read this now. Several hands stretched out for free meals, because hands are characteristics or features of humans. So now that these several hands is like part of something that expresses the whole of something. So through several hands, we can deduce that this is talking about humans. Several hands, refugee camp. It can't be goats or dogs. It's got to be humans. So, and the figure of speech at play there, or the yes, is synecdoche or synecdoche, whatever you like to accent you like to give to it. So that's synecdoche. Right. Question 7 now. A word or a phrase that is repeated at regular intervals in a poem or a play is what? That is refrain. You have dirge, refrain, lullaby, verse, but it is refrain. And if you are a chorister here, you will definitely agree with that. So you see, you read, you sing the first verse, then you have refrain. So and then you sing the second verse, you have refrain. Refrain is often used repetitively, either in a music, in a hymn, in a poem, or whatever. And its major purpose is to give emphasis to that writing, or the play, or the song. All right. So I sing the verse 1, I go to the refrain. Some people like to call it chorus, but it's actually a refrain. Then I sing the verse 2 and I go to the refrain. So it gives emphasis, right, to the poem or the song. Good. Question number 8. Disguise in drama mostly portrays the theme of what? Disguise. What is disguise, first of all? Is trying to put on another attributes or characteristics or feature of, or facial or features or characteristics, like I said. So disguise, putting on something that it's not, or that you are not. Okay, so disguise in drama mostly portray the theme of what? You have known identity, no, because you just said that's appearing as another thing. So plain identity, no. Unknown identity, no. Mistaken identity, yeah. We'll go with mistaken identity. So when you use disguise, you are trying to cheat, you are trying to confuse, you are trying to bring confusion to your identity so that you are not detectable. That's why people use disguise. So that's why people disguise, so that they are not detectable for who they really are, so that they can be mistaken for something else. Do you understand? Now, please, as I said, If you have questions, or probably you have better explanation to any of these questions, I'm happy to get your thoughts in the comment section. Please make sure you point me out, even if I feel I've made a mistake. All right, I rarely do make mistakes, but if you think I have done one mistake or so, please point me out in the comment section and we can discuss it. Question number 9. A recurring idea, image, or a group of images that unify a work of literature is what? Recurring idea, image, or group of images that unifies a work of literature is what? Motif. So let me just give you an illustration or explanation to this. Let's say some of you have watched movies like Prison Break and 24 Hours and those kind of stuff. Let me use Prison Break for an example. What is the recurring idea in Prison Break? From season, I think it's about 5 seasons, yeah? So from season 1 to 5, what is the major idea, the recurring theme of Prison Break? The brother who died and rose up again. This one and that one. He broke prison and came out of prison. This one died or that one died. Not, the summary, the major theme, the major idea is what? People break out of prison. That's what it is. That's what it is. So it's called a what? Motif. So what is the motif of Prison Break? It's breaking out of prison. Season 1, 2, I think maybe in season 3 there was no breakout, but in almost all the seasons there was breakout of prisons. Yeah. So that's a motif. It's called a motif. Is a recurring idea, image, or a group of images that unifies, centralizes the work of literature. Question 10 now. A fictional prose which is neither a novel or a short story is what? A fictional prose is not a novel, it's not a short story. Then it's what? Alright, so it's longer than a novelette, but shorter than a novel, than a long novel. What do we call it? We call it novella. Don't forget it. Do not forget it. That's just the principle. Shorter than a what? Shorter than a novel, longer than a what? Look at it here. Novelette. So it is what? It is novella. You see that now. So it's shorter than a novel, longer than a novelette. It's what? It's a novella. Don't forget it. And then question number next, now number 11. The sudden reversal of a character's fortune in a literary work, most especially negatively. Okay, you can even see reversal of a character's fortune. That's negative. Okay, from grace to grass. Terrible. Okay, so what is it called? You have denouement, hamartia, hubris, and peripetia. So the term for that is what? Peripetia is when somebody who is rich in a play suddenly became poor. Alright, that piece of play there is peripetia. It's a sudden fall from grace to grass. Okay, so in a literary work. That's option D. Okay, question 12. Okay, I find no peace. I find no peace and all my work is done. I fear and hope. I burn and freeze like ice. The feeling of the narrator in the extract is to one of what? You have confusion, fatigue, love, and the fourth option I think is joy. Alright, so how do we get the answer? We are going to read what is in the quote again, the quoted line. I find no peace and all my work is done. Okay, I'm not at war, but I'm not at peace. These are opposite words. It's either you're at war or you're at peace. And he says, I'm not at peace, yet I'm not at war. And then here it says again, I fear and I hope. How can someone fear and hope at the same time? That's a figure of speech right there in play. See here again, it says, I burn and freeze. How can water be burning and freezing at the same time? It's almost impossible, right? So this is a feeling of what? Is it confusion? Fatigue, love or joy? It's confusion. Confusion is when one is between two states. It's like blue. Between two states. So that's confusion. All right. Question 13. The main character in a play or novel is the what? We've seen this in several other episodes. Like I said, I've made several other episodes in time past on literature and English objectives. The easiest way to pass an exam is to watch videos as this, where the tutor knows what he's saying and goes in depth to explain. And like I said, we've taken several of literature and English objective questions. They are loaded in this channel. How can you access it? Just click on the channel, make sure you are subscribed and get to the videos. They are all free. We do not restrict viewing of anyone. So go view them and understand them. Okay, stay in a comfortable position, take notes, and master them. So the main character in a play or novel is the protagonist. And you can see antagonist is the one that is always antagonizing the protagonist. So it's like actor and boss. You see them fighting. Those your Jack movies. So the protagonist is the boss. Is it boss that never dies in the movie or actor? Some say actor never dies, some say boss never dies. So the one who doesn't die, the main character, is the protagonist. Why the supporting character or the one that wants to kill the main character, is the antagonist. Good. All right, 14 now. Before a play is performed, it is what? A, auditioned, applauded, rehearsed, recited. Okay, before a play is performed, it is what? The correct option logically there will be what? Rehearsed. Even before the music is sung, everything needs rehearsal. Before I'm taking this class now, I did quite some rehearsal, right? So that I make sure that I'm giving the best quality, right, to you. Okay, so rehearsal. 15. He is my most beloved enemy. Oh, we come across a similar question as we saw before. He is my most beloved enemy. How can beloved and enemy be in one sentence? Beloved and enemy. What figure of speech is at play there? You have synecdoche, oxymoron, method, and litotes. That's what? Oxymoron. Oxymoron. Two words opposite in literal meaning, but in the same sentence and working together. He is my most beloved enemy. It's an oxymoron. So I have a question for you. What's now the difference? Because some of you might have said, this is paradox. This is not oxymoron. This should be paradox. So there comes the assignment there. Please give me the answer in the comment section. I will be so happy to see the person who gets it. What's the difference between oxymoron and paradox? Do not check Google or any other search engine. Just reason it out and give it to me in the comment section. Question 16. Diction is a writer's choice of what? You have style, syntax, reading, and words. Diction is a writer's choice of what? Well, simply understood. So diction is basically on words. That's what diction is about. Diction is about words. So, and words, that's it there. D. So diction is a writer's choice of words. And then 17. A praise poem is a word panegyric. A praise poem, like poems that are made, written for heroes. Okay, heroic poem, right? So poem that are written to praise an hero, to praise somebody. All right, it's a panegyric. Also, I have another question for you. What's not the difference between panegyric and ode? So let me also know in the comment section. These things, you need to know them. You need to know them. They are very important. All right, question 18. Through the trees, I will hear a single ringing sound, a cowbell jingle. Look at that. Through the trees, I will hear a single ringing sound, a cowbell jingle. The underlined is an example of dash rhyme. So you can see rhyme there, single jingle. It's a rhyme, right? Single jingle. You have vowel sounds there that are the same. So that's a rhyming word. Alright. So the underline is an example of dash rhyme. What type of rhyme do you find in this? Is it end, feminine, internal, masculine? Feminine, masculine doesn't make sense. Yeah. Okay, these are wrong. You can just cross it out. And like I've often thought, the fastest and easiest way to answering multi-choice questions is to first strike out the least realistic, the ones that don't make sense. Take those ones out first, so that you know, okay, I'm in between this and this. So always try to reduce the options. Some exams are funny. They will give you A to F. Have you written such an exam before? A to E, A to F. Just one is the answer. So what do you do to get to that one, even if you don't know the question, because you won't know everything. That's the fact. So the first thing, or the best thing, the easiest thing you can do is elimination method. You want to take out the ones that doesn't even sound well, makes least sense or less sense. So in this case, now what's feminine relating to this? What's masculine relating to this? Yes, there are feminine sound and masculine sound, but it's not relating to this. So we are in between hand and internal. Through the trees, I'll hear a single ringing sound, a cowbell jingle. There are even more other types of rhymes. There's the one that starts from the beginning. But for this one, it's internal, because this is not the end of the poem. Yes, it's not the end. So this is internal. It's internal. Yes. All right. So, and a rhyme that occurs at the end will also occur at the end of the poem. But this one is in the middle of the poem, so it's internal rhyme. Okay. Number 19. It's a matter of sad joy. Illustrates what? We meet it again. Sad joy. Okay. What's the answer? I told you before. Oxymoron. Sad joy. And then 20. Poetry is written in dash. You have chapters, paragraph, scenes, and lines. Okay. Poetry is written in lines. You write it line upon line, line by line, line by line. All right. And in poetry, another thing you should notice that short lines, but by the time you break them down, there are actually a lot of words constricted into short, powerful, memorable, sometimes rhyming lines. Okay, now we've got into question 20. I almost didn't even know we are at 20. Shows that we have been both enjoying the class. If you have enjoyed the class thus far, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. It does suggest to YouTube that this video, the content is good enough, so they can push it to a larger audience of people. This helps to make this channel to grow. And you can also smash the subscribe button, so that when we upload related questions to this and parts 2, 3, and 4, you will be notified, and then you can come and watch them as you prepare for your exam. 21 now. And dash is an indirect and usually unfavorable remark. Indirect remark and usually unfavorable. This is the answer here. Innuendo. And innuendo, I don't want to use it because it's not nice. I would have given you an example, but it's not nice. So it's an indirect and usually unfavorable remark when they cause somebody, when somebody is insulted in an indirect way. Short phrases. Unfavorable is often used to insult someone or to cast aspersion on someone or something. So innuendo. Then 22. A speech in a play in which a character speaks his or her thoughts alone. Everybody does this at some time or another. Maybe you are in your room, you're just speaking to yourself, right? I haven't seen people walking on the road speaking, speaking to themselves. Okay, you should watch that one because you don't want people to actually even know that you were speaking to yourself. But when you're now walking on the roadside and speaking to yourself means that person needs help. So a speech in a play which a character speaks his or her thoughts alone, speaking to oneself out loud. You've watched those plays now. Yes. So it's a what? Soliloquy. That's and when the act is being done, it's called soliloquizing. Right. So and why do they soliloquize? To give you an idea of what they are thinking. You see the lot in Yoruba movies, right? So the person is speaking out loud just to give you the viewer an idea of what he's thinking in the head. Since you cannot see, you can't see his brain. 23. The performer in the play constitutes the words, the cast. You have chorus, characters, audience, and cast. Yes, in a play, the characters will constitute the cast. And you must have seen this before also when you are watching, especially Nigerian movies. I use Nigerian movies because we write cast. You see the right cast. Okay, at the end of the play, when they are they've rounded up the play, so you see cast. Then they begin to list the characters, the performers in the play. So it's called cast. And then 24, a struggle between opposing forces in a story or play is what? You have denouement, conflict, comedy, and tragedy. A struggle between opposites. The fact that you see conflict there is even giving you an answer. So conflict is opposing idea, view, when there is struggle. So a struggle between opposing forces in a story or play is a conflict. 25. A character in the story who narrates what happened to him or her. A character that narrates often takes the first person. In a play or story, the person will take the first person narrator and uses I. Many people do these things. They don't even know they do it. For example, I was watching some TikTok videos. I saw in the video, all these TikTok shots. In the video, the person has taken the video of her day, how she went about her day. And then she now made a record sound and added it to the video she did. And she was saying, so I went to the market and I bought. And then as she's saying it, the video she has actually done when she was in the market. So she just attached it. So what is she doing there? First person narration. I bet you also do it too sometimes. So that's first person narration. So you always use I often in first person narration. 26. A short which expresses an idea in a clever way is an epigram. Epigrams are always short, witty, remarkable remarks. Now you don't forget, short and witty, they are called epigrams. 27. The climax in a literary work. Climax. Now what's climax? Everything has climax. For example, if you are traveling from Lagos to Ibadan, your car will go like this. It accelerates, then it gets to a climax speed, and then it deaccelerates and gets to destination. This is your moving point, or the beginning of your journey. This is your end point or your starting point. So the car starts with maybe 10 kilometers per hour. It gets to Ibadan Expressway. It fires down. It's now running at 100 kilometers per hour. And then it gets to its final destination and reduces back to 10 kilometers per hour. So this place is called what? Climax. That's the maximum speed at which the car cruised. We are not in physics class. Alright, so everything has climax. So also, if you are, let's say you are jogging, you have climax. So the climax in the literary world is what? Look at it here. Peak of the tension. That maybe you are watching a movie, you have watched many of these things. You are watching a movie and it gets to that place where you almost cannot sit down again. The tension or the conflict in the story is at its climax. You want to see what's the next, what's the next. You always, in fact, some people will forward the play so that they can see what wants to happen. So that's what the climax of that plot of that story. Okay, question 28 now. Dramatis personae is the same as a chorus, prompter, foil, cast. Dramatis personae is the cast in the play. Okay, next, a long and serious narrative about heroic character is a what? Long poem or long narration about heroic character is an epic. It's like, let me see, all those poems that you read about God, about Shango. You see, Shango whose height is like a lightning. He treads the ground like a pillar of fire. He walks like a smoke. So that's what epic. It's often written about heroic characters. It's like adulation. Okay, heroic characters. It's an epic. These things I'm telling you, make sure you never forget them. Never forget them. 30. The fire gnawed ceaselessly at the back of the tree. What's gnawed? So the fire gnawed ceaselessly. Yes. And gnawed is an attribute of a human being. So now we have given the attribute of a human being to fire. What is the figure of speech? I explained it before. Personification. See, person. Any figure of speech or work in which we give the attribute of a person to a non-living thing or a non-inanimate thing, or even an inanimate thing that is non-human, never forget it. It's personification. Okay, now 31. An epilogue introduces a play, develops character, sums up a play, introduces character. An epilogue sums up a play. Now, when you open books, literal books, or even many of these books, you read motivational books, story books, novels, you see prologue, right? At the beginning, some may say introduction, some may say prologue. Then at the end, before you go to index, some might add dictionary, index, or whatever, and you see epilogue. So epilogue is what? Like summary of the play. Some people don't like putting epilogue because once you read the epilogue, it gives you an idea of everything that happened in the play. So some people don't like putting the epilogue. They feel like it does affect your own anticipation or suspense on that novel, the play or book. Okay, but it's also good because it depends on how it is written. If it is written in a very catchy way, intriguing way, you really even want to watch or read the book or the work the more. Good. 32. The type of literary work are dash. The types of literary work are dash. Eras, episodes, genres, cantos. So they are genres. So we have different genres of literary work. All right. In music now you have what? You have genres as well. R&B, hip hop, right? Those are genres. So all literary work are placed in genres. And then 33. A short introductory speech delivered as part of a play. Okay, I just even explained this. Introductory speech delivered as part of a play. Okay, before the play begins. No, you guys, you do these things now, right? Before the play begins, especially some of you who go to churches like Redeem, Winners, where they hold this their yearly convention, and their drama group comes to the stage to start the play, and then somebody comes and introduces or gives a brief introduction into what you want to watch, what you want to witness. So it's called the what? Prologue. in a book too. Most books, or many important books, they will have prologues too. So it's an introductory insight into the play or text. As we round up 34, an emphasis placed on a syllable in pronunciation is what? You have meter, rhythm, accent, and rhyme. Okay? An emphasis placed on a syllable in pronunciation is an accent. It's your accent. Yes. Yes, accent. And then 35. A dramatic performance with only bodily movements and without words. What is that? Maybe like choreography. Okay? Or you use words to explain, you use movements to explain words. Okay, so that's miming. Is a mime. Right. So a dramatic performance with only bodily movement and without words. Mime. When you mime to something, you mime to music. Right. So there we have it. 35 solid questions. Okay. For your literature in English upcoming exam. I'm sure you enjoyed this because I also had a lot of fun as I took this class. If you did, please just type in the comment section, I enjoyed it. And again, as I said, if you want to practice multiple of these questions, the link to download our app is in the description of this video. So go ahead, download those apps and begin to practice those questions. Also, if you need private coaching or private help with literature in English assessments, please also you can use the link, the connect link in the description of this video to reach out to us, and we are happy to put you through. I'll see you in the section B, so make sure you are subscribed as we go on there. Bye. Hi, I'm sure you enjoyed the content you just watched. To see more episodes as that, preparing you for your oncoming exams, smash the subscribe button on this channel right now and visit the playlist that we've made for you, covering over 50 types of different exams, including JAMB, WAEC,